We're live.
We
It's Friday.
live.
There's nothing going on in Jets World, so good night. See ya. It's been a great show. Johnny, awesome show.
Yeah, this was probably I think this is the most thoughtful, insightful show we've had in a very long time. So,
I mean, everyone was great in the chat, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. So
appreciate that. I mean,
right?
What a show.
Who's here? Oh, you're here.
I'm here.
Okay.
What's going on, Jay?
Jay's here.
Big shout out to Jay, man. Jay's son is one of the top prospects in North Carolina for wide receiver. So
Really?
which is awesome. So if anybody's in any of the discords that are out there, he's put some stuff out there, and go check it out. It's pretty awesome. I think they call his son Mr. Catch It All.
Really?
So yeah, which is pretty nice. There was one pass that you see on the highlight is when he's at that top point all the way up, like snatches it off of the defender. It was amazing. So kudos to Jay, man. That's awesome. Seeing that dude's an awesome dad, man. So shout you out, Jay. So
very cool.
Shout out to Peg and Artie too.
Party with Peg and Artie. Now I never know if it's Artie or Peg. So who knows who's in control? But the Nick Shine show is here.
Hey, Nick.
Right.
And he already came in swinging for the fences.
This is taking off. Wow. That no holds barred, man. No holds barred. Oh, by the way, I got my Santonio Holmes helmet from the Nick Shine show. Nice. Freaking awesome. So crazy. So nice.
Good evening, Leedy.
Oh, look at that. An
Afro.
Cool.
So guys, just to gotta give a little bit of announcement, right? The 4th of July is coming, right? So you see we being very patriotic right now, right? America. Holla. We will not be on next week as my daughter is turning 1 on the 4th, which is huge. So giant party going on. And Mr. Worldwide, over here.
I will be worldwide.
Will be worldwide, wide.
I'll be in Italy, so next week I'll be trying to set up a computer in Italy, and then the week following we'll be back. Hell yeah!
But you know what? Let's get into it, man. Because it's Friday. I think we just got paid, but it goes all to the bills. So, like we always say, every single Friday, we come on here, have a little bit of therapy. And again, Snowball, this show is, how big of a show has it been growing? Like the fastest what?
Oh yeah, it's the fastest growing Jets YouTube content creation video source on YouTube ever. Listen, this is the quest. Tonight's quest is the quest to 200. If we break 200 subscribers, that'll just make it all worthwhile, because right now we're sitting at 198 subscribers. It'd be nice to gain 2. So if you're new to the show, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're in the chat, hit the like button. And if you're not in the chat and you're just watching this just because you stumbled upon us, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Because if you hit the like button twice, you don't like it. So that's not good.
Well, let's drop the intro, because the chaotic one is ready. The great one he's literally in the back curling 100-pound dumbbells right now. My man is, while he's doing that, he's on, like, he's doing stuff. It's crazy.
That's a box of tissues. I don't know what he does. Oh no, he's got a shake weight. Hold on a second. We'll come back in a minute and we'll check out his shake weight. All right. See ya.
Yo, we rolling deep with the Jets on the rise. A team full of dreams under these bright skies. The world is our stage. We ain't gonna hide. Green and white till we die. Jets worldwide, wide. Johnny Boy and Snowball in the zone. Yeah, we're family here, never alone. Jets worldwide, this is where we shine. A true dedication, victory's our sign. Green and white forever, we in our prime. You know we gon' ride, just give it some time. 2025, hear the crowd going wild. You know we spitting truth, nothing but style. A city that never sleeps, we going buck wild. Our hearts beat as we Jets worldwide, wide. Victory's a feeling we won't let go.
I'm always doing the. Can't believe that.
Question
so
from
good.
the question from the chat.
Oh, Snowball, do you have an alternative channel called Sandwiches of History? I do, actually. It's Sandwiches of History. It airs every Tuesday, like odd hours, sometimes 3 a.m. So I actually have a collection of sandwiches that I have put them into sealed packages. So I think I have a hoagie from like 1932.
Ooh,
It's like a prized possession of mine.
I wonder if it smells great.
I don't know. It is sealed, so it's I don't know. I'll have to check it out.
Well, Snowball, I hope you got yourself ready because you introduced this guy like no other.
Oh,
so I think
right.
we need part 2 all over again.
All right. So I will prepare myself. Where is he now? Is he in North Carolina? Shake your head. Yes or no? North Carolina? California? Yeah. Sacramento. Hailing from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 230 pounds and reaching the heights of 6 feet and 1 inch. He is the greatest guest of Jets Worldwide in the world. Jeremy Jets Chaos. Look at him. He is ready, pumped.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
I thought they were shake weights. All right, it's all right. Whatever.
Dude, he was back there curling. This dude was doing some like insane flips in the back. Like, he's hyped. He's ready. He knows what time it is. Friday night, Jets Worldwide. We are ready to rock and we are ready to roll.
Since Johnny loves it so much, I'm proud to be on the greatest show in the world. It upset my dog.
That dog does not like that at all.
No animal was hurt during this segment.
Well, now you know how to get that dog hyped.
Yeah.
Right?
You should see when like a fire engine goes by with the sirens on.
Yeah.
Her head goes straight up and she starts howling.
Oh my God. What's the dog's name?
That's the boy, the white big pit bull mix is Klecko, and the girl, the black one that's howling and squeaking is Jolene. So it's Jolene Klecko.
Jolene.
Klecko.
Yeah.
Very
Shout
cool.
out to Dolly on that one.
Right.
So Chaos.
Yes.
We're going to get into it right now. All right. So first and foremost, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
There's really nothing going on right now. 30 more days, I think, until training camp starts.
30 more.
And we're in that stage right now that any news, every news, whatever news matters. So with that being said, so there was a guy that used to be the quarterback for the New York Jets. He was with us the last 2 years, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he's on another team now, which is the team that we're going to be playing week 1. And he states that this is his last year. So I say all that because I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think, to me, from seeing that on the Pat McAfee show, Do you think that was mentioned during this conversation that him and Glenn had, where Glenn was pretty much pissed, and he stated that? That's the reason for the 2 years with Justin Fields? Or do you think that has nothing to do with it at all?
I mean, I don't think it's because he said I plan on playing one more year. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying I know, but I mean, I would think that Aaron Glenn kind of knew that anyway. Like he knew coming in as a new coach. My feeling always was he's coming in as a new coach, right? You're coming into a locker room that's just turmoil, right? A completely devastated locker room. You're starting to lose the confidence of your stars. You're coming in as a new coach, and what are you going to do? You got to turn everything around. You got to bring in a new energy, right? And I think that he had just made the decision, nothing anti-Aaron Rodgers even, or nothing even personal, but just how could you do that if you keep such a strong personality like Aaron Rodgers that you automatically are going to have to compete with as far as who the teams look at and look to. And in addition, a guy who's not there for your future as a coach and what you're trying to do in the long term as a team. It's like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to have this quarterback who runs his offense, even if he tries to run mine, we're going to teach him all this. We're going to do this. Maybe we'll bump heads. Maybe we won't. And then he leaves. Like, he's not going to be here long term. He's not part of the long-term plan, or I could bring in a guy that's just going to be one of the guys while I make this my football team, while I build my culture. And if that guy happens to take off, then great, we have our quarterback. And if that guy doesn't take off, we draft a quarterback in a really good year to draft quarterbacks, and we're not too locked into that guy. That's my guess if I had to make my best opinion of what Aaron Glenn was thinking.
100%. I mean, so we had Lamont Burns that knows Aaron Glenn, played with Aaron Glenn, and he kind of told us, essentially, he's like, I'm pretty sure I know how the whole conversation went. And an old vet with another alpha head coach, and there could only be one individual that's going to be the person that's going to say, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because then you have Aaron come out and is talking junk about the offense to a certain extent, in the sense of stating that the run game was not good, or this, blah, blah, blah. In my mind, I was like, what is this individual talking about? Because you were the quarterback that would come under center and audible every single time, where it would be 3rd and 1 and you're throwing a fade route to Devontae Adams, when all we need is 1 yard to continue to keep these drives going. I don't understand it. Why now? Why is he saying these things, Chaos?
It's mind-boggling, because he pretends to be so the media says all these things, and like he's so shocked about coverage like this, and then he comes out and he says the most diva things and does things that just back up what the media was saying about you. To come out and say that about the team you just left, sour grapes. I mean, I thought one of the big problems strategically, because I say, it's a personality, we got to take over the locker room. But part of the, like, if you want to say, what does that look like on the field? Well, what it looked like on the field to me is you had a team that where Aaron Rodgers was the offensive coordinator, because nobody spoke up to him. Nobody told, like his buddy didn't, his best friend coach. Like, it was Aaron Rodgers, and it was Aaron Rodgers just deciding to audible out of running plays constantly. And you know what? Like, everybody says, yeah, well, he could read the defense and he knew that he had an advantage to audible out. Well, that means everybody stacks the box against Baltimore, Philadelphia. Everybody knows those teams run the ball, yet they still do it. So why couldn't we still do it? That's what I don't understand. Because if you look at the average yards per carry of our running backs, it's not like they were 3.5. They were over 4. They were going to get, if you run 3 times on average, they were getting first downs, or they would get first downs. So I'm not buying it. I'm thinking it's just a guy who likes to make excuses.
Put your hands out like this. Put your hands out like this. Put your hands out. All right. Here. Right? The dollar bill. There you go. I'm passing the buck. Okay, because that's what Aaron Rodgers was doing. He's passing the buck. That's all he's doing. So not his fault, right? It's that guy's fault. And like you said, it's ridiculous. I didn't want to believe that Aaron Rodgers was the guy who all the Packers fans said that he was. And then when he came here, he seemed as though he was like not that guy. And then with a little bit of turmoil and a little bit of a, bad record, you that starts to surface. It was just weird,
Yeah.
Strange.
It's to me, man. Like I think if I'm gonna be very real with stuff, right? So and to be 100% honest, we kind of caved in to a lot of the demands that this individual had, right? So like we got Hackett for him. Devontae, Lazard, right? What was that other wide receiver that we had that we stashed him in?
Reggie Cobb.
No, not Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
Yeah, we had Cobb too, though. No,
Reggie
but it was
Jackson.
it was someone else as well, right? Oh man, I was so high on him too because I thought that he was really, really good. But anyways, we did a lot in regards to that, and it just.
I mean, Mike Williams. You're talking about
Mike Williams. No, but it was not Mike Williams. It was another one that was a Packer forever in a day. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is that we essentially, it failed, right? And he can't be straightforward and be like, I failed. Like it did not work. I did not do what I thought I was going to be able to do. And I'm going to blame it on almost everybody else. Right now, he doesn't say it essentially right on every single show that he goes on, or the shows that he goes on, or the clips. It's one of those where he'll say it during this golf meeting. It's taken from there. Then he's in the Pat McAfee show. He says it over there. Then he's on this other stuff. At the end of the day, man, it is what it is. Like, and the only reason I'm bringing him up is because, again, there's nothing going on. We all know this, but he mentioned the Jets. He brought it up again. So it is somewhat of some news in regards to what's going on. So Justin Fields has so much to prove week 1, and I cannot wait for that game, man. Dude, they are dogging this cat and saying like dude can't throw the ball and he can't hit people on stride. And I go back and I'm like, did you guys not see who he had in Ohio? He always on stride on these guys. When this dude was going to run, if he ran, it was like the last thing for him to do. The dude stayed in the pocket when he was over there in Ohio. So I have faith in Fields, and I truly do. And I hope that he comes and balls out and he could potentially be. Why can't it be us for once? Why?
Because we're the Jets.
Yeah, I know.
Plain and simple. We're the Jets.
We the ones, baby. We the ones.
Yeah, it seems as though like he's both. Yeah, Justin Fields is both. To me, he's both. He's got his ups and downs. He'll have a string of good and he'll have a string of bad. So we'll see if they can tailor if they can tailor a game plan around him to make him successful. I'm hoping Engstrand has the creativity to make that happen. Then maybe we stand a chance. I want to be overly optimistic. I want to be. I want to be overly optimistic. I don't know if I can be, but I want to be. And I think in all reality, Vegas always knows. It's just Vegas always knows that 5.5 win. That's like a sucker bet. Like they're trying to reel you in. Are they going to be 5 wins? They could be.
I don't know. I don't know I don't know which way they're suckering, though, because I think there's a lot of people who don't believe they could win 5 games. Because think about it from a gambler's perspective, if you're not a Jet fan, right? And you're just some outsider looking at the New York Jets organization. You see a team that just won 5 games with Aaron Rodgers starting every game. And now we went to Justin Fields starting every game. I think there might be a lot of people that just from the very basic, casual, not a Jet fan and going to Vegas that says, well, if they couldn't win more than 5 games with Aaron Rodgers, how are they going to do it with Justin Fields? I think there might be a lot of people. So which way is Vegas trying to sucker you to bet? Because I think they might make as much money, if not more, with people betting the under, to be honest. I think it might be hopeful Jet fans because we have this hope and this like of certain players and we're pumped up by Aaron Glenn, but that might be arguing we could win more than 5. But I think the rest of the country is laughing at us and saying the Jets are going to be, they're going to be worse.
I mean, that's you, dude. Every time, oh, so who's the team you follow? New York Jets. Oh man, I feel sorry for you. I just want to go right on over, man, and just choke the person that tells me that every single time. Because then they tell me, I'm like, who's your team? And they'll say something like the Patriots, right? I'm just going to use the Patriots. Oh, what you like about the Patriots, right? Oh, Tom Brady and Welker and blah, blah, blah. None of those guys are there anymore. What do you think about your new coach? What are they going to do over there? So that sucks, man. But Yeti brings up a good point. I mean, it is under the bridge, right? It's one on the bridge. It's a good point. It just didn't work. AR has too much to say, and it's truth, man. And I want to say this. The part that he states that someone needs to grab his face and tell him to shut up, it's over. I think it was Glenn. I think Glenn was the guy that was like, I'm the captain now. So,
Yeah, I think that, I could totally get the point or the perspective. It happens in business all the time.
Exactly.
New leader comes in, gets rid of the person who wanted the job or thought they were the leader, the biggest voice in the place. If the place is failing, it's I got to get rid of the biggest voice. Like this person was the biggest voice last year, and it didn't work, and it's gonna clash. Hey, what are you doing?
So shout out to Clancy. See you in there, Yeti, Leany, Rich. What's going on? Run the ball, and with Fields as well. And it's going to make his job easier. So let me ask you this then, Chaos. Do you, and I probably have asked you this 100 times, but I'm going to continue to keep asking because I don't believe it's going to be a heavy run offense. I think it's going to be super balanced, right, with both. I think it's whatever is working at that current moment, it's where it's going to go because Glenn made sure to say that Tanner was the guy that was making all these really different plays within the offense. Do you believe it's going to be run heavy? Should it be run heavy?
I think if it works and you run effectively, it will be because that was who Parcells was. That's who his teacher was. His mentor was basically, if it works, there's no safer, better game to play than the run game. Less turnovers. It's less risky. It takes time off the clock. It takes a lot of time off the clock, keeps your defense off the field. There's so much advantage to running the ball effectively and controlling the game, right? But that's if it works. If it doesn't work and you clearly, and I'm not saying you give up on it as fast as we gave up on it last year. You have to try to wear the defense down. But if it's not working and we can't create an identity as a running team, I think they're unlike our previous regime. I think they're not going to be stubborn. They're going to try different approaches and find something that works. So I think there are going to be weeks where we're a running team because it's working and we're going to run the ball 70%, like tons of carries. And if we get a lead, oh my God, if we get a lead, you're going to see the whole second half just pounding the ball. And then I think there are going to be games, and this, where we're airing it out because that's what's working. I think what we could say goodbye to is the coaches that were stubborn. I think what we could welcome is we're going to see a coaching staff willing to make adjustments, willing to come in with different game plans, try different things, know the enemy, right? Know thy enemy, and actually game plan, and scheme towards the enemy, not just we're going to do what we're good at. We're going to ignore who we're playing. I don't think we're going to be that. So if you ask me what our identity is going to be, are we going to run a lot and be a run-heavy team? If it's effective, yes. Some weeks, yes. If it's not effective, then no. I don't think we're going to be a running team that week, because what are you going to do? 1, 2, 3 and out, 1, 2, 3 and out. I mean, if the other team forces you to pass because they're stopping the run, then that's what you're forced to do.
100%. So our second guest of the evening,
this guy just
is here.
I don't know.
And we are excited to have him on here. So, Snowball, because you do the amazing intro.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man. You got to do it for my guy Tigo right now.
All right. I feel like I'm ripping off Jeremy here, but that's all right. I'll try to do him justice.
What about Jeremy doing it? Because the dogs might go crazy again.
The dogs are going absolutely.
No, we don't want another replay of the dogs. All right. I don't know how tall Tigo is. I don't know how much he weighs. I don't know where he's from. I'm just gonna So please welcome in a man with an American flag on his wall, some kind of yellow T-shirt in the background, and a Pac-Man machine like nobody else in the world. Welcome, Talking Jets with Tigo. And now he's running
back. Jets jersey up now.
See, now he's got the Jets jersey. Okay,
I've got an AVT jersey on now.
Permissible.
Was that what jersey was that?
It's a practice jersey.
Oh, okay. No. I was talking about the.
It's Brazil jersey.
Nice.
Brazil. What's up, Tigo?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to Jets Worldwide.
Why?
This is your premiere appearance.
Yes.
Welcome in. How have you been?
Can't complain.
We are. This is our salute to service edition. So we brought you on. We're celebrating America early.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured we'd have you come on in. Jeremy has been keeping the conversation alive along with Johnny. We've been talking about. I don't know what we've been talking about because I'm trying to get you the link. So I blank things out and I'm just like typing away, trying to get things, sending emails.
So, Tigo, you haven't been. We haven't seen you around as of late. I mean, we understand. I got 1,000 kids as well, so I get it, man. Hey, dude, we went with the Odyssey, by the way, and it is amazing. All right.
Yeah.
So, please, anybody.
I knew you were going to end up with the Odyssey, and I just because dude, there's no other right answer. That's the problem. It's just there's only one right answer, and it's the Odyssey, and you made the right answer.
What about the Sienna?
I said what I said. I'll stand on business. Again, there's nothing wrong with the Sienna, but it's just that's the point. There's just nothing wrong with it. It's not nice. Okay.
All right.
Not the Odyssey.
Listen, my kids were little 20 years ago, so whatever.
100%. So
Sienna was nice.
So let's get into it, right? So what's your thoughts on everything that's been going on so far with the Aaron Glenn hire? We have Tanner there, Welks, Banjo. We got a lot of things going on. And I love a lot of your takes because you're going to give it to us straight, uncut, raw, baby, which is awesome because that's how it should be. And so I want to get your thoughts. You get Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, one of the first things he says, we built for this shit. What does that mean to you?
I think he was trying to set up the expectation. I think the reality is that if you're a Jets fan coming into this season, you need to understand what year one in a new regime is and set that expectation to be the reality. Because as much as we want to have hope and as much as we want to look at the New York Jets through Gotham green colored glasses and be like, this is it. This is the guy, this is the regime. There are going to be a lot, and I mean a lot of teething problems with this team, because the New York Jets have not been a good organization for as long as I've been alive. You know, we've gone from disastrous head coach to disastrous head coach to disastrous head coach over and over and over again. And so you're going to have to wash off the stink of what is the New York Jets, because we were talking about it in the group chat, you know, earlier. Jay Gruden, I watched that clip. Dude, it was just a lazy take.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even like it was just him being lazy and didn't look at the team, but he's not wrong. His opinion isn't wrong. The Jets have been a dumpster fire. And so the easy take is, well, they're going to continue being a dumpster fire. And so let's remember that we are changing everything about this organization. Aaron Glenn is was trying to find the rat in the building, and he found them, and they're gone. Saleh was texting Joe Bonino, crying on his shoulder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are going to be a lot of things that are not going to look good in year one, because one, outside of a couple of positions, we're not all that talented of a team. We're not all that experienced of a team. And we're taking a lot of big, we hope this works swings on a lot of guys. But that's not a bad thing, because one, if it works, we're freaking set. But everything is being set up for year two. And I think the draft told me that. I think some of the decisions that they made with the roster told me that. And so, again, just ease the expectations. Don't expect that just because we got Aaron Glenn, we're playoff bound. Just because we got Aaron Glenn, we're going to be a positive win record bound. Because that's just not the reality of this team. Settle down. It's going to go in the right direction. Year two is when this rebuild really starts. So let's get there.
So year two. So you're saying year two, right? Because of the stuff that's in the past that's occurred, of I have the green glasses, bro. Like, I really, really try not to, but it's just I can't help it. Then we have a guy that comes on our show in Lamont, and he's like, dude, don't be surprised if this year you guys have a winning record, but you don't make the playoffs because A, B, C, and D didn't happen for you guys. Would you say that's a success for this organization and we're starting to trend the correct way? Or are you on board with everybody else that it's like Aaron Glenn, playoffs mandate? I don't want to give this guy any time because we've been burnt so much from so many Jet coaches in the past.
That's not fair to Aaron Glenn.
Thank you. Agreed.
Because, look at what you're handing Aaron Glenn. You're handing Aaron Glenn an offensive line where the left tackle's going into year two, the right tackle's going into year one, the center is going into year three, AVT is going into year 5, and Simpson, I think, is going into year 6. That is a young, Simpson is our oldest, most experienced offensive lineman, and I think he's in year 5 or year 6. Yeah. That's not, it's different when you have Morgan Moses, right? And I think a lot of us were big fans of bringing him back because he's been in the league for a decade. Regardless of if he's going to start or anything like that, having that voice in the room matters, right? You've given him an insanely young offensive line. Look, tons of upside, and that's why I said wait till year 2, but that's a ton of upside. You've given him a ton of things to pieces that you can work with on offense, but none of those pieces have ever worked all at the same time under previous regimes. Never have we seen a run game and a pass game operating at the same time. And we've had Brees and Garrett for 4 years now.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Weapons that, outside of Garrett Wilson, they're not going to do anything on their own. We're going to need an offensive coordinator who's going to need to scheme guys open, create chances for those guys. And so, like, it's just not fair to him. This idea that the New York Jets are going to go and have a winning record. Dude, if the New York Jets have a winning record this upcoming year, that is like a massive, massive success for Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
Regardless of playoff, or like, if he goes 9-8 with this team, with this roster, with how young and inexperienced not just the players are, but the coaching staff. I really wanted Engstrand. He has never been an NFL offensive coordinator. He's never called plays in the NFL. There's going to be some teething problems there. Wilkes, super veteran. We don't have to worry about the defense. If you pay attention to everything that I've said, it's always about the offense. It's because that's going to be the problem. I know we're going to stop teams. The problem is are we going to score points?
Okay.
Because that's where all the problems are.
So then, and I'm going to bring this to you, Chaos, because last week, right, you were more on the conversation of, and this is for both of you guys, that it's more pressure on Tanner than AG. Do you guys, I mean, Chaos, do you still feel like it's like that? That it's the one that has to prove it really is Tanner because he doesn't really.
That? No, I think the head coach is always the one with the most pressure because at the end of the day, it's the head coach.
Okay.
I mean, let's remember before when we were casual fans, if there was ever a time, unless you started off a diehard fan, you didn't even know who the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator was. That's another level of fandom when you start to know who and then we get to a point where we know where we have people screaming about the tight end coach, no experience, or the offensive line coach. What the hell? I mean, when I was 15, it's the head coach. The head coach sets the tone. The pressure is on the head coach. Internally in the building, is there pressure on Tanner? Of course. I mean, his bosses. AG is going to be put pressure on him for sure. But overall, in the world of the Jets world, no one wears more weight on their shoulders than the head coach. With the exception of you got a new head coach, and it's the GM, the GM's last chance for the GM. Like if this first year coach of the team's still stinking, it's the GM that starts to feel the butt of the pressure. But for the most part, it's the head coach wears it all.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just going to ask how much different do you think this year's team is from last year's team?
Like in terms of what?
In terms of personnel. Like we talked a little bit about some of the positions and how they've changed, but talent-wise, how much different do you believe the 2025 Jets are from the 2024 Jets?
Oh, massively.
Massive change.
I think that if you ignore the head coaching change, which is an upgrade, right? If you're just looking at the roster, it is last year's team, ironically, was much better. Much, much better.
Yeah.
We got upgrades in certain spots,
right,
like that you can legitimately like look at and say like, okay, like that's an upgrade. But we also got some really, really, really big downgrades at certain spots.
Like, what would you say was like our biggest downgrade?
Cornerback 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Stevens.
Right. DJ's gone.
Okay.
Because and this isn't even like there's upside with Stevens. We're going to play more man coverage and all those things. But like DJ Reed was a top 10 corner in the league for 2 years in a row before last season.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You said we don't have to worry about the defense though.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not just that, like tight end. We didn't address tight end really. Look, we got Taylor and like that's exciting. But everybody knows that the process with tight ends is that it's generally speaking, it's 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Before they're ready to hit the ground running. And while Tyler Conklin wasn't like this, like, look at that guy, he's tight end 1, he was still good enough to be tight end 1. Where now you have a rookie who has to get used to the NFL game, Ruckert, who hasn't shown us the ability to play at the NFL game yet.
Oh, yeah, it's a good beer.
And then a fullback who's also a tight end, Like who's tight end 3? Is it Yeboah? Like no, Yeboah left, right? He's in Detroit.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeboah's gone.
Yeah, he's in Detroit.
So you're referring to Stone Smart.
Yeah, so it's like you look at it that way. So you have that conversation. And then
Wide receiver.
Like that's a real one. Like we got worse at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Reynolds and Lazard are still here. We haven't used any of the, like, it's just, and I think it's too early to say this, but I also think that theoretically we got worse at right tackle.
Oh,
I love Membu.
Okay.
But he's a rookie.
Okay.
You can't count on a rookie to give you anything because you don't know what he's going to be. He's never taken an NFL snap. And if you guys remember, I was Membu's the pick. I don't care. Get Membu. The only person that you don't get, like, if it's not Membu, it's the Arizona wide receiver. Like, I forget names once they're not New York Jets pick. I was a Membu, like, ride or die. And I love that pick. But
Tigo sent me a secret text that said, it's got to be Membu.
It wasn't a secret. I screamed it from the mountaintops, or here in Florida, you know, the landfills.
Did it say by all means possible?
Yep.
But I mean, it's what needs. I mean,
no, it's the right move. It's the right decision.
It's you build in the trenches, man. Like that's you
not
build in the trenches.
I'm not saying that it was a bad pick,
correct,
or it was the wrong pick. No, it's the right move to do. But a guy with 10 years of experience playing at the right tackle spot being replaced by a rookie who's never taken it, that's a downgrade. Now, we'll talk about it in year 2 about how, like, he shut down TJ Watt week 1, held him to 0. Like, I'm totally up. I love that storyline. I'm ready for it. But again, teething problems.
Yeah. And mostly offensive related.
Yep.
Yeah. And you know, I agree with Tigo. Like, if you just go on paper, like talent wise, if someone says, well, then how do you think they could possibly win more games? My answer is coaching. Because it's the way you use the talent. So yeah, we might, because we're going to have a different scheme. And if you scheme to what you have, and we see that all the time, right? We see football teams that we know, if you look on paper at their roster, they seem to be good every year or competitive versus teams that seem to have all these better players on their roster. And there's this, and then you start looking at coaching and you look at the consistency, the year after year, and knowing your role and the way they utilize the players. So again, I agree with Tigo that setting high expectations is not fair, and judging Aaron Glenn on his first year is not fair, because you have to give him time to set that, you know, the schemes, find the different players to fill roles, to get them familiar with the roles. Like, it's valuable to get players to come back year after year. Like, that has value. So now you're coming in, new coach, new mindset, new everything. And I agree 100%. If they win 9 games, that is a freaking, like, whoa. That means, like, that's like a superhero job as coaching. Playoffs or not playoffs. You come in and win 9 games, that's just outrageous. That would be, I mean, as good as you could ask a coach to be. In my mind, nomination, you know, a candidate for coach of the year. Easily.
Yes.
So you agree that Engstrand, Wilkes, and Aaron Glenn are going to be able to mask the shortcomings that we have?
I don't know that. I'm hoping.
Oh, yeah. I can't say that.
I'm hoping.
Okay. You're hoping.
We're hoping. I think as Jet fans, we're hoping. I don't know that they can't. I don't know that they can. And I think that we all have our opinions. We wanted this coach, that coach, but nobody knows, right? We don't know. Every great coach, for the most part, nobody knew they were a great coach until they became a great coach.
Out of the 3 of them, though, would you say that Wilkes has the most potential to mask the shortcomings of the defense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we know what he is as a defensive coordinator.
I also think there are some strengths in the defense. There are some special players who can help do that. And then there's some hopes, right? There's the hope that A.Z. Thomas is going to be ready right away. And that he's going to be his full ceiling right away. Very rare. You can't rely on it. But we've seen rookie cornerbacks come into the league and make a big impact. Cisco. Is Cisco going to pan out? Is he going to be what they're hoping he could be? I mean, there's a lot of ifs, though. That's a lot of ifs. So I don't think I think that we got to be very reasonable with our expectations, because when you talk about it, we're saying if this happens, if that happens,
Correct.
if this, there's a lot that has to happen.
So, you even put an if in that statement too, of like if AZ starts,
right?
Because you're paying Stevens a lot of money,
right?
And if he doesn't start, so like it immediately, like, see, there's so many of these little things where it's like, again, like we want to look at Gotham colored glasses, but like, dude, it's not just inexperience on the field. It's inexperience in the coaching room. It's inexperience in the front office. It's inexperience in a lot of places, because we're back to paying the Jets tax, because no one was going to pay Stevens that amount of money. And then we went into the draft and we got a player who arguably is better than him in AZ Thomas. And now you've tied up quite a bit of money on a cornerback that shouldn't be starting, but you're paying him starting cornerback money. And again, I'm not worried about the defense, but like, this is just things that you look at and you go, okay, like that's a problem. That's a problem.
So let me ask you guys this then, right? Are we for sure that Stevens is going to be CB2?
Yeah.
Okay. MC2 is coming. MC2 is back, right? Coming back from injury for us.
He's definitely the slot.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a position that's really not being talked about at all, because he's coming back from an injury, and the injury that he had was pretty bad, right? Do we have a backup if he was to go down? Because the guy that we had before, he's gone. He's in Pittsburgh now, right? Eccles is gone.
I mean,
Eccles wasn't a slot corner for us though.
Tigo, who do you think is the backup slot? Do you think it's going to be Stiggers, or?
We don't know yet, like, because there's a lot of people that can come into that like conversation, and like you've got like JBC can probably slot into that role. You've got to ask the question of like Malachi Moore, Dean Clark, like, are you going to rely on them? Like, are they going to fit in that slot role? Also, do you just go, if he does go down, into a 3 linebacker set, and you take advantage of the fact that you have 2 undersized linebackers in Quincy and Jamian, who Jamian specifically was a former safety, and so maybe you just try to cover up the fact that maybe he can't play in the slot. There's a lot of questions. Chris Boyd, maybe plays there. Isaiah Oliver maybe plays there. There's a lot of ways to mask that, but I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill, even with the injury. I don't think that that's going to stop him.
Good. And I'm on the same boat with you. I don't think so too, but
because I don't think it was a catastrophic injury. It was just a nagging injury. And those are 2 different things, So I think he comes in and he does well.
People ask how and why would the Jets sign him if they ended up drafting AZ Thomas? And the answer is very simple.
We didn't have AZ
because they had no idea that Thomas would be on the board. Right. They obviously had him ranked very high, and they're not alone. A lot of people had him ranked really high, and they just even though they signed Stevens, they went by value. They said, oh my God, we have this guy ranked as a top 40 guy, and he's sitting here in the 3rd round. We have to take him. That's what probably happened.
Totally.
I mean, do you think that the reasoning for the abundance of players that we have on that side of the ball is because of what occurred in Detroit, and seeing that he was having to get these guys that were literally at Walmart stocking the shelf the week before and is getting ready to play in the playoff game? Like, is that something that, because I mean, let's be honest, MetLife's turf, it's injured so many people. That has to be in back of his mind. Do you think that's a reasoning that we got all of these individuals that are there as backups, or am I just bugging out on this?
I think you're reading a little too much into it. It's a 53-man roster. At the end of the day, you're going to cut some people, and it's like you're going to have to allocate, and like injuries happen to everybody. Like, let's not forget that we had a bunch of injuries last year too. Like, everybody got hurt last year. There wasn't a single team that walked out unscathed. Houston lost, I think, like 9 of their offensive starters, like throughout different points in the season. Like it's just everybody's getting hurt. And so I think you're putting two things that kind of don't correlate. What Jeremy said is right. No one expected AZ to be. There was not a world in which AZ made it to the 3rd round. There wasn't a world in which AZ made it past 50 in my mind.
I agree.
Yeah.
For him to be there in the 3rd was out of and it's BPA, taking the BPA route. And you have to sign Stevens. You don't have to sign Stevens, but you have to sign a cornerback. If you've identified Stevens as the guy, okay, you go and get him because you lost DJ Reed. Those two things aren't associated with each other. They're two separate. Too many people look at free agency and the draft going hand in hand. Very rarely do they. And if teams that do operate with them hand in hand are teams that, like us, have been bad for a long time. Philadelphia doesn't look at free agency and then do the draft. Right? They do it together. They do it separately. Right. Who's the best player that we can get? We're going to get that guy. We don't care if they're going to start now because they're not drafting for right now. They're drafting from 2 years from now. And that's why Philly can continue their run. It's the same thing when – I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, finish.
I was going to say the Ravens when they took who's the super tall safety that everybody was in love with in the sauce year? Hamilton. Right?
The
Kyle
unicorn.
Hamilton.
The unicorn.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude, they had 3 safeties. Unicorn. They had 3 safeties. The one thing they didn't need was a first-round safety. Literally. They took the first-round safety and traded 2 safeties.
So my question was going to be this. First, if you're watching and you have not hit the like button, please do. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do. Question is that, okay, so we have AZ and we have Stevens, and let's say, hypothetically, during training camp, AZ starts to show out. Does Aaron Glenn have the nuts to start AZ Thomas?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
That's a really important question.
That's going to tell us a lot about what kind of coach he is.
Because we know for a fact Salah didn't. Right? Salah would start Stevens no matter what. Yeah, and this is the question that we now have to – this is the thing is it's like salaries be damned. If AZ gives us the best shot at winning, do you start AZ? That's a right. Snowball's asking the right question.
Yeah, a lot of these rookies, right? Like if they start to show out in training camp, do we just go with them? You know, that's the thing. I think that's a solid indication as to the quality of the coaching, right? Do you have the guts?
I think the more important thing, because I think we also have to take into consideration the whole, well, they're not my guy situation.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So like, for example, like let's just say for whatever reason, they do end up playing Stevens at safety and they put Tony Adams on the bench, right? We can't read into that. Tony Adams isn't a Wilkes guy, isn't a Glenn guy. They didn't bring him in, right? It's the like the real questions, the real places where we're going to start seeing certain things is like if Arian Smith is starting over Josh Reynolds, because those are both this coaching staff's decision. They signed Reynolds and they drafted Smith. So in a perfect world, you want to put both of them on the field because they're both your guys.
Yeah.
And if only one of them gets on the field, so like the perfect example is AZ Thomas and Stevens because it's one position up for grabs.
Right.
You're muted.
Chaos, you're muted.
I think because we don't know this coaching staff. I know as a fan what I'm hoping for is that they just play the better player. And if Thomas might end up being the better player, but maybe he's not better the first 5 games or even the first year because he's a rookie, right? Like maybe he's not better the first year, but he's going to be a lot better in the future. I don't care. I know that one of my coaches I have a lot of respect for is Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll, if you want an example of a guy who doesn't care about what the contract is and plays the best guy. That's how Russell Wilson's career started. They paid all this money for that kid from Green Bay, right? Came in with this big contract. They drafted the guy in the 4th, 5th rounds, and suddenly Russell Wilson's the starter. That's because Pete Carroll did not play games. It was like you come to camp, and it's a competition, and the best player plays. And I hope that Aaron Glenn is that guy, because for us as fans, I want the best guy. I want the guy who wins the job. I don't want bureaucracy and how much money we spent, and I don't care about that. I want the best player on the field.
I was going to say, is that an Aaron Glenn decision?
He took it right out. Yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
It better again. Like we're going to learn. We're going to find out.
Because the guy who's signing the checks may have something else to say.
What we need to hope is that Woody is going to be focused on Crystal Palace.
That's
true.
That's what we need to hope. Honestly, is that his focus is on Crystal Palace, that his focus is on getting them, because soccer money is insane.
Correct.
It's absolutely wild. And now that he has a team in London that he owns, we're already the London Jets, right? We have a massive fan base in England, and we play a game in England every year for the rest of our existence, because that's what's just going to happen. Now you're telling me that he can build a stadium and he can collect the revenue on 2 fronts here in New York and have a home ground that he can play away at in London. And if he can keep Crystal Palace being successful in the Premier League, so that there's what you need to hope is that he's being spread too thin to be involved in the nitty-gritty of those decisions in the day-to-day. But we have no idea.
If he gets them deregulated down, the champion out of the Premier League.
Ironically, the Premier League has gotten a lot of these teams in the Premier League. They are too big to fail. It's so hard if you're a Premier League team, if you're an established Premier League team, to go down.
Because you have
it
has
to be catastrophic.
Because you have so much money.
Yeah, you're just so farther ahead of the teams that are coming up. It's a sad state of affairs, but yeah.
Now, Johnny, you're from Long Island, and Jets Chaos. You've been on Long Island, right? Tigo, have you been to Long Island?
I have.
Yeah. When they mentioned Crystal Palace, wasn't that like a strip joint on Long Island? Crystal Palace.
That's why I laughed. That's why I laughed when you said that.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Crystal Palace, right? It's in Farmingdale. So Farmingdale is Crystal Palace.
I didn't know, man. I just knew Stony Brook, and I used to go to Port Jeff because they had great happy hour when back then in those days.
I was 8 the last time I was in Long Island, so
okay.
Hey, man, the early bird special, get you some chicken nuggets there and just
come on down,
chill and relax.
That's half price drinks.
So Snowball, let's transition this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you do have some stuff that you did want to talk about with the upcoming schedule. And Tigo was kind of hitting on it a little bit earlier on the conversation that we were just having. But we have this for you guys right now, and it's for both of you guys. So I'm gonna let Snowball do his thing and continue running with it.
Listen, I had a question, right? So if we took the first, all right, so now we play 17 games. Let's say we take the first 5, right? Just for tonight's show, can we just break down the first 5 games of the season just to see where we would sit after the first 5 games? Now, obviously, week 1, Jets are playing the Steelers, right? We're at home. It's opening game, big game. Everybody knows the situation. Pittsburgh has not played anybody. We have not played anybody. So based on roster, based on quarterback, based on coaching, and based on where the game is being played, right? What are your expectations? Do you think we're actually winning the home opener, or are we getting our asses handed to us by our ex-quarterback and a perennial winning head coach?
I usually say don't look at the past because teams change. It's not the same team. It's stupid to do that.
Except the Steelers.
But I think when you look at let's look at the last 15 years. We could look at the last 20, but let's look at the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. And look at the record of the Steelers. right? We have an unknown coach, never been a head coach. Look at their head coach since he took over that team. Look at our record over the last 15 years. Look at their record over the last 15 years. Look at their record over the last 3 years. Look at our record over the 3 years. Forget about roster for a second. How could you think we have a good chance to win? I know that we can win. As a fan, I'm hoping to win. I'm going to the game. I don't want to lose a 4th year in a row. But to sit there and expect to win, I mean, how? I mean, it's just, you talk about an organization that wins versus an organization that doesn't. Right. So until we start winning, how could we have that expectation? So I'm going in terrified that I'm about to see my 4th loss in a row. It's going to be the 4th year in a row I fly across the country to sit with Green Bean and be miserable. That's but you know what? There's part of me that's always going to have the hope. I'm going to sit there. I'm going to hope that Aaron Glenn's going to be this game-changing coach. And we're going to come out on fire. The guys are fired up. Their schemes are working. Everything works. We play our asses off and we win the game.
So,
but
all right.
Expectations.
Yeah.
If a gun's to my head, pick the winner, or we're pulling the trigger if you're wrong. Of course, I'm saying Steelers.
So, okay. So you're chalking us up to an L. All right. But my question to you, Jets Chaos, is this. After the game, when you leave, will you know where parking lot J is? Or will I have to drive you there?
Let me tell you something. I'm going to be within 5 feet of Matt O'Leary the entire walk into that parking lot.
Okay.
That's what I did. It was my first game at MetLife, like ever. And when I went, I parked 2 feet from Ryan.
Yeah.
I just moved the rental to wherever Ryan was because I was sitting next to him and I was like, you're going to get me home.
Yeah.
Tigo, Jeremy has said L, week 1. What say you?
Yeah, it's probably a loss.
Okay.
It's going to be a really, really infuriating game because it's going to be the game that offense forgot. Right? Because we're going to look at 2 stout defenses that are going to be – because, like, if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, it's not all that great on the edges where we tend to excel on defenses on the edges. Right? There's a guard that we can really, really exploit. So you've got a really good one-on-one matchup with Quinnen and McCormick there on the line. But like ultimately, I have no concern about Sauce locking down Metcalf, especially now that he's going to follow wide receivers. And Warren's not all that big of a threat. Like he's a good running back, but he's not all that big of a running game threat. But then, and so like I don't think that it's going to be like Aaron Rodgers is going to light us up. It's going to be, how in the world are you going to stop Hayward, Watt, Highsmith, Fitzpatrick? How do you stop them from absolutely ruining you? TJ Watt is one of the, if not the greatest defensive player I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, because you have to quadruple team Watt, you have Highsmith who is good one-on-one every single rep.
Hmm.
Oh, and by the way, one of the best interior defensive linemen of a generation in Cam Hayward is still playing the game of football somehow at 1.5 million years old. Doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. And it's just like, you also have to double team that guy. And it's just like, where do you get a break? And like know. Patrick Queen's good. Like, let's not forget that. Right. And Peyton Wilson was a stud for them in his rookie year. And Joey Porter had a sophomore slump, but was good in his rookie. Like, it's just, and they got Darius Slay, so they upgraded at CP. Like, it's just.
So the Aaron Glenn mantra of you got to know how to block is going to come into play. We need everyone, all hands on deck. We're trying to block everyone.
I mean, you want to have an identity as a running team. And we're saying, oh, we're going to run the ball, and that could be a strength of ours, right? And then you have, as Tigo was saying, a second-year left tackle and a first-year right tackle, and you're playing the Steelers, right?
One-on-one against TJ Watt,
right? And just the historically, right? Like who Pittsburgh is as an identity. I don't want the game to be determined by who's more physical game. Like it's a nice test for us, but you don't want you can't walk in there and sit there and actually say that we're a better physical team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, that would be ridiculous. I mean,
when's the last
they're
time?
one of the most physical teams in the NFL. So we want to be a running team. If that's the case, we're going to have a big problem going against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right. When's the last time we played the Steelers? Was that 3 years ago?
We just played them last
year.
Oh,
we
last year.
Won,
what
Aaron,
I'm saying is,
we could have won, but Aaron Rodgers decided to fart the ball into at the end of the first half.
I remember AVT was playing. I don't know if it was his second year. He was playing left tackle. He had to play left tackle against the Steelers, and didn't let up anything. No pressures, no sacks, no nothing. So, not saying it's impossible.
But that's not the matchup we're worried about.
Yeah,
I know for a fact that Olu is more than good enough to handle Highsmith. One of the very few people that thinks that Highsmith is insanely overrated.
Yeah,
all of his production comes because it's on the opposite side of TJ Watt. I'm not worried about Olu.
Yeah, it's just
because that's not who TJ Watt's going to play against.
So then
worried about Membu.
So then we have
week one.
Teach Mason Taylor how to block.
But I mean, it's more than just that. Like I see in the chat saying, but you don't know us yet, Jeremy. Yeah, I know. I would love it if we came out, Clancy, and if we were the better physical team and we beat them. I would love it. You're right. I don't know them yet. But if you go by history and you go by how many teams in the NFL beat the Steelers by out physicaling them, it's not good. So the odds are it's not, the odds are we're not going to be able to do it. Now, I hope we do. I hope we turn out like in a year, we're looking back at it and saying, holy crap, we are a physical team and we beat up everybody and you don't want to get into a physical match with us. I hope all those things. But statistically speaking, just using rationale of what you've seen in the NFL for the past 5 years, what you've seen from us and what you've seen from the Steelers, and going in with a rookie right tackle and looking at their defensive line and their defense and the way they're coached, you have to think if we win that game, it's not going to be because we won the physical match. It's not going to be because we won the physical matchup. That's not going to be the reason we beat them. Maybe it'll be we play great defense and Justin Fields manages to break off a couple of huge runs. Maybe, but whatever it is, we're going to need something. And you have to assume that. Now, if I'm wrong and we pound the ball for 200 rushing yards, I'll be the first one in line screaming, yay.
Oh, hell yeah.
But how do you count on that?
Maybe Will McDonald has a couple of strip stacks.
Oh, he's going to. Yeah. Like, this is the thing. We're talking about it like, okay, our offense has to go against their defense. Like, their offense needs to go against our defense.
Right.
This is going to be the game that's going to get us looking at us like, yo, that offense was rough, but holy crap, Sauce does know how to get an interception, and Stevens was the right move because he also got a pick. And did you see that batted pass by Cisco? And, bro, Quincy came up that A-gap like a monster, took Warren's head off. Aaron Rodgers' other Achilles, like, just didn't pop, just got up and left because he was like, I'm done with this MetLife field. Like, McDonald, I would not be surprised if we had double-digit sacks in that game alone. Like, our defense is going to eat against that offense.
Okay.
But so is theirs.
But
their defense is going to eat against our offense. And the game is going to be decided on whose defense can get their kicker into field goal range the best.
So, Tigo, you just took it right out because that's what I was going to say. Right? And that's exactly what I was going to say. So let's just say going into this game, right? Because I think I'm on the same boat with you guys. I think it's an L because you're completely right on that, right? But if the Jets are playing good ball and it's because of our kicker misses a whole bunch of stuff, what does that tell you guys about this team? What does that start telling you about AG? That we went toe-to-toe with a team that was in the playoffs. AG's first game against a Hall of Famer of a coach in Tomlin, but we lost by 3. Does that mean anything to you guys, or we just on to the next game against the Bills?
I don't think you can read too much into that situation. Tomlin is a Hall of Fame head coach because of what he's done, not because of who he is as a head coach now.
Okay.
Arthur Smith has no business being a play caller for any team that takes themselves seriously. And like the Pittsburgh Steelers of today are not the Pittsburgh Steelers of old.
Correct.
This game is a winnable game. Let's be very, very clear here.
Correct.
This is a game that we can win. It's going to be very hard, and it's because the superstars on Pittsburgh have true game-wrecking ability. Like, just single-handedly, they're going to take over a game because that's what TJ Watt can do. But this is a game that we can win. Totally. And I've never been the type of person, because I don't believe in it, where it's just like after one game, I'm going to be like, yep, Aaron Glenn's the guy, or nope, Aaron Glenn's not the guy. Get me to the bye week. And then I'll tell you.
Okay.
Right? Because week 1, you don't know the opponent you're facing. You don't know who you are as a team.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if the stuff that you've been doing in practice works, if it doesn't work. You don't know anything. We hear it all the time. Football teams in week 1 are not the same as football teams in week 19, week 18.
100%.
They're not the same team.
We do have the turf monster.
So then we come back and we play the Bills week 2.
Who the previous week have played the Ravens.
I think it's not as much about winning and losing as it is about it not being embarrassing, right? Like it's how we play the game. If we come out there, Pittsburgh 3-point game either way, I wouldn't read too much into it for everything Tigo's saying. We don't know who the Steelers are going to be. We don't know who they were week 1 versus who they'll be week 7. We don't know any of that, right? But what we do know is we know what it looks like to be embarrassed. We know when we're unprepared. We know when we're not good, and we know what it looks like when a team is just not up to par. And we know more than anyone what that looks like. And I think what we have to hope for is that we don't see that. Mm-hmm. Missed assignments, embarrassment, team gives up. And then it's a run out that, they're just running over us, and you can tell we're not trying anymore. And you see frustrated Jets on the sidelines. We see Garrett Wilson slamming his helmet down, frustrated. That's what we don't want to see.
Okay.
We want to see hungry guys who fight on every play.
Well, based on what we've heard.
You have to see a path forward. That's the thing. It's progress. This year, I don't care about the wins and losses. It's a new regime with a quarterback that we don't expect to be here long term, and a rookie offensive coordinator in the midst of, call it a rebuild, call it a retool, whatever it is that you want to call it. This isn't the team that's going to win us the Super Bowl. But a majority of the pieces that are going to be on that Super Bowl winning team in 2027 and 2028, they're not here yet. And so, progress. I just want to see progress. I want to see Aaron Glenn football more and more each week. That's it. Like, I don't care about the result because I think we lose to the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are the second best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah. How is
and I don't think that it's all that they're really close to the Ravens. I think that's 1 and 2, depending on how you go about it. And then it's the Chiefs, and then it's everybody else. And so, we're not there yet. We're part of the everybody else, and pretty far down on the everybody else part of that. So,
it's like such an impossible expectation to just expect to go in and beat the Bills. I just want to go in and fight.
Yep.
Fight. Don't roll over. Don't roll over.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's what I mean. Like, are you guys on the Tigo progress? Being able to see the adjustments being made in game time during the game itself. Like, let's just say DK Metcalf is having a game, right? Going into the half. What do you adjust? Because, we would come out of the halftime and not know what the hell is going on. And all of us are yelling. Seeing chaos on the show, right? When he's watching the games with everybody on there, he's flipping out. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, why can't Tigo? Same thing with you. Like, you've said it multiple times because of the positions that you've played. What are they doing? Like, why is this? Why? That's what I want to see, right? Like, the progress, the adjustments. If we lose to the Steelers and all that, and it's like I stated again, because of our kicker, but we were pretty neck and neck with them. The Bills, The same stuff. I think every single time that we play any of our divisional rivals, it should be a hell of a damn fight.
Be a war.
You know, it should be exactly like constantly, and not us just being able to say, "Oh, it's the Bills, and Bills are this good of a team," and all that. Fuck that, right?
We've beaten the Bills with less talent.
Was that Wilson?
True,
Yeah.
true. But I don't know, man. Like, I hear what you're saying, guys, in the sense of with Aaron Glenn, and it's true. And I'm on the same boat with not. I don't believe in putting all the pressure on the guy off the rip from the jump. He has a completely brand new team. But at the same time, my other mind starts to go and it's like, well, shit, the other teams don't know us, right? And we're such an unknown. Like, we have no idea what Tanner can be. We don't, right? Welks is the veteran coach, as they're saying on there. Shit, he has the damn defense running at full cylinders, man. Like, but I think we lose to the Bills.
It's a double-edged sword, Johnny. That's what it is. Because all of the things that you said, you can clearly see the Gotham-colored glasses being born. Because the same, like, just, and this isn't me trying to be negative, but just to point the reality is, it's like, dude, Glenn is the veteran, but even veterans lose a step every once in a while. Knowing our luck. What if this is the time? This is where his coaching career turns, like with Ryan, like with Rex Ryan after he left the Jets, took a hard left turn when he went to the Bills. He fell off the cliff. It wasn't like a slow, gradual burn. It was, and then not good enough to be in the league. Gone, like just shouldn't be near a football field. Now he's on ESPN begging to have the Jets job, like. What if that happens to Wilkes? Angstrand is an unknown. Well, so was LaFleur.
True.
And I actually like LaFleur. I think LaFleur was doing a lot of good things, but like he didn't know how to manage people.
Yeah, I mean, LaFleur did not have the people management skills, but boy, did he get a bad rap, and people were like crucifying him. And Green Bean says it all the time. Look at his performance as an offensive coordinator when anyone not named Zach Wilson was the quarterback.
100%.
Anyone not named Zach Wilson. And that offense was great.
In the last, I turned 30 this year. So in the last 30 years, can you name the last time the New York Jets playbook was being stolen by other teams because of our offensive coordinator's brilliance? Because I thought about it. I seriously thought about. I couldn't find it.
Adam Gase.
No one stole a play from Adam Gase. Not one.
Maybe the first 15 plays.
But like LaFleur's, like people were stealing LaFleur's plays.
Yeah, they were showing a Green Bay game after we had a really good running performance on Monday Night Football.
It was our playbook.
Remember, Tigo? They pointed it out. They said,
"Oh, it was our playbook."
They pointed out that they're doing something that the Jets did. Oh, the Jets.
Yeah. Matt called Mike and was like, "Yo, what's that play?" He wrote it down for him, gave it to him, and they implemented it. Like it was literally like, when was the last time someone was stealing? So that's besides the point. But like the whole point is it is a double-edged sword.
It is,
and and that's I think the good thing is because I do think that Tanner Angstrand is a really good offensive mind. And I think that him being with Ben was a great thing for him. And he isn't an inexperienced play caller. He's called plays before, just not at the NFL level. Yeah. And Ben doesn't have a system. Ben doesn't have an idea or an ideology or a philosophy. Ben is, how do we beat the other team? And if Tanner gets 80% of that, if Tanner gets 60% of that with, let's say, a philosophy in mind, we're set up to be insanely scary.
We just got to be patient and let it develop. Like it just doesn't happen. Time. Even in Detroit, people love what's going on in Detroit, right? Like overall, and look at the turnaround. They talk about it. Do you remember when Detroit was like 0-8 under these coaches? Like 2 or 3 years ago, they started the season. Then at the end, they won like 5 or 6 games. And then they broke out the next year. Like sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time. What we were talking about Buffalo, I do want to throw in a perfect world where nothing there's no weirdness. I think the Bills just beat us. But that being said, it's the NFL. It's a football game. There's a reason they play the game, and weird things happen. And sometimes a team comes in like the Bills and thinks it's going to be this easy win. And sometimes the Jets, a team comes in more motivated, more hyped up and wanting it more. And sometimes the ball drops and bounces a different way. And things happen. We see it all the time. So as a fan, am I going to be watching the game hoping we could find a way to win? Of course.
It's like when we beat the Bills opening game, the home opener.
Where Rodgers got hurt. And Zach came in and Garrett Wilson does that absolutely insane catch. And then
Xavier Gipson forever burns himself into the Jets history books. And we're riding off of one play for the 2 years trying to justify him being on this roster.
100%.
Still one play, and there's still people being like, "Look, Xavier Gipson, he can do it," and it's just like, dude, I don't ever think I've seen him look at the quarterback when he's supposed to, like running a route,
even when he's returning a bad route, even when he's returning balls, dude. I'm holding my breath. I'm holding my breath. I'm like, holy shit, he's about to drop the ball. It's always completely super shaky with the dude, man. So
I'll put the link in, and please, the people who believe in Xavier Gipson, please call in.
Tell me why. I want to believe. I want to be delusional too. Convince me.
Right.
I've watched the tape. I have not found a redeeming feature. Convince me why he should eat up a 53-man roster spot.
Sometimes we have to be willing to let go. Like with me, you know how hard it was. And there's still a part of me I can't kill, I can't crush, that believes it could happen and that he could still somehow be good. But do you know how hard it was for me to accept that that Jeremy Ruckert just isn't it?
Dude, I'm on the same boat with you, man. Like,
for me, like, there's a lot of players that are like that, where you look at them and you go like, no, there's something there. There's something there.
Yeah.
Just got to figure it out. Elijah Moore was like that. Zach Wilson was like that.
Yeah, Elijah Moore.
Corey Davis was like that.
Well, we play more, right?
That's my boy.
With the Bills.
Denzel Mims for Green Bean.
So
Watson K will still defend Corey Davis till he dies.
Oh, he's a good player. Hey, would you blow me? Yeah,
that's a great guy.
To college, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So we're sitting at 0-2.
It doesn't get better.
And then we face the Buccaneers
in
week 3.
Hey-o.
And we're on the road in Florida. So we go on the road. We travel to Tampa Bay, who have just played the Falcons and the Texans. And now they face the New York Jets. So we're 0-3.
Look, again, just like the Steelers game, this is a game we can win.
Absolutely.
We can win. They're not that they're good defense, but they're not a scary defense. But they're a really good offense where, like, and we just would have come back off of facing a really good offense. And it's week 3. How do we know that Godwin is still playing when he gets his yearly injury? It happens sometime around week 3 to week 8. You know what I mean? Maybe it comes early that year. That's a joke, people.
They also lost their offensive coordinator.
That's true.
That is true.
Absolutely. New OC. Like, again, this is a game we can win. Like, we totally can win.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, there is. What? The same vein that you can say that we're 0-3, you can definitely say that we're 2-1 by week 3 in the same breath, and it not be all that ridiculous.
So we're banking on competitiveness and nail biters, and
I think we have to win. I mean, I think you could say that for any team in football because it's so rare and it's so hard to come back. I'm not even saying about the playoffs, but psychologically, it's so hard to come back from 0-3. It's so common for a team to break when you start a year like that, and they break and they just can't get it. They can't do it, and it would be so damaging for us. Like, at least if we were 1-2, the way we finished, if you look at the last 5-6 games of the year in the schedule, at least there's 1 and 2. You're not thinking, oh, it's hopeless that we can't win 7 to 9 games. But 0 and 3, you start to think, here we go.
This is ever going to win a game?
Yeah, that starts to come into the players' heads too. Is this going to be
so then we go into week 4?
Well, I've been just agreeing with everybody, but my green colored glasses says we're 3-0. But
undefeated like the whole season. What are we even talking about
exactly.
right
I'm
now?
just waiting for the first loss.
So the season starts essentially week 4 for us against
we
Dolphins.
have breaks off the Bills. The Bills might be the worst team in the NFL this year. Like genuinely.
The Dolphins.
I don't think I've ever seen an offensive line as bad as what the not the Bills. I'm sorry, that the Fish are going to put out this year. Have you seen what their offensive line is supposed to be?
Yeah, guys from Walmart.
Spaghetti.
Yeah,
there are Dolphin fans that think those players are good.
Guys, my kid just turned 3. You could put him in at left guard and he would start. Like he just turned 3.
So our first win on Monday Night Football. The world will see us win. Win games.
That's the hardest part, man. Monday Night Football has not been good in my life as a Jets fan.
Very true.
Monday Night Miracle.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think it's going to be all that close of a game.
But we're in Miami too, so
I don't think that matters.
Can we just stay? Can we just stay in Florida? We play the Bucks and then we play Miami. So.
Will McDonald and JJ
combined for 11.5 sacks.
Quinnen, they better just go crazy.
Quinnen's going to have double digits on his own in that game. Tua's going to retire at halftime.
By the way, I think there's a possibility. I just think this. I don't know if people agree. I just have this. I have this thing right now in my brain that says, and we don't talk about it enough. I think this might be a serious breakout year for Will McDonald. Like, I mean, a serious year where he establishes himself as like a real dude.
We're going to finally use him right.
We have a Will McDonald signed helmet that is up for grabs. So
I think it could be 13, 14 sacks this year. Like big stuff. Improvement against setting the edge, like more well-rounded where he can do a little better in setting the edge and stopping the run, that kind of stuff.
So Snowball, you have a signed Will McDonald helmet.
Yes.
How can we get that to our loyal fan base?
If you want this signed Will McDonald helmet that will belong to someone that now I'm banking on 15 sacks this year.
Didn't you just win that from Nick Shine?
So, no, I did not win this from Nick Shine. Okay, this is a purchase on my own. So, but if you'd like to be considered, you can down at the bottom. There's this little ticker. So we're not monetized yet, and I don't see we've even gotten over 200 subscribers yet. But
$199.
$199.
Come on, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for?
Get over 200. We do have a Venmo, and it's very simple. It's at Jets Worldwide. You're watching Jets Worldwide right now. So if you Venmo, like $10? If you Venmo $10, believe me, I'm going to write down your name. I'm going to keep a spreadsheet. What I'm saying is, and tell me your real name in there so I know who it is. But what I'm saying is, you can do that, or you can go to. These screens are so big, it's crazy. If you go to here, right? If you go here and you go shop the store, right? Take that down, Johnny. JetsWorldwide.printify.me. If you make a purchase over $20 from the store, we'll put your name also in there. We're gonna stop taking names. There you go. Look at that. We're gonna take we're gonna take the names at the end of July. Everyone who's entered, and we'll pick a name, and you'll get the Will McDonald. Now there is a certificate of authenticity in the bottom of this, so it is legal. I didn't scratch it in. I didn't forge his name on the helmet, so it's real. So please do, by all means, either Venmo or go to the store and subscribe and like the video.
And we're at 200 now.
Well, I realized that Brooklyn Brothers food review.
Oh, thanks so much.
Subscribe.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I feel so much better now.
So So then we win against the Dolphins. Then we have those Cowgirls to play.
Right.
How are we
This
looking
is week
against them?
5.
I think
We're home.
that's another one of those games, like with the Pittsburgh game, the everything else, right? I mean,
I think this is a game. I think this is the Aaron Glenn, Tanner Engstrand
Solo layout time.
like this is the glow up game. This is the we've arrived game. We figured this coaching thing out. This
Dallas
is the game.
Cowboys.
Get Dallas Cowboys. Because I look at that Dallas Cowboys roster and I go, there is a lot of turnover on that roster. Prescott is not a good quarterback. And I think that, like, I know that they've got Pickens. I'm not scared of Pickens. I know that they got Lamb. I am scared of Lamb, but I think that we can, like I just look at that team and I go, if we can figure out what to do with Parsons, which again is easier said than done. This is the double digit win. This is like 24-10 territory. This is where we go, oh, that's what this team can look like? Because I think that that's the game where we go, yeah.
You're not afraid of Brian Schottenheimer?
Look at that. Leanie's in for the helmet. I got you down, Leanie.
Let's go.
Good.
So
Start the avalanche.
So that's where we're like.
That's where it starts coming together. That's where we start seeing the vision. That's where again, this is my belief. That's where I think everything is. You start like, that's what Glenn has been talking about the last 4 weeks. That is what he wants. Now we're playing. The players got it now. That's what we're doing. That's Aaron Glenn football.
So we're 2-3 at this point.
Sure. Sure.
If we play the first 5 games and we're 2-3, I'd actually be really happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then,
because if you look at the first 5 games of our schedule and compare it to any other 5-game streak in our schedule, if we can go 2-3 in the first 5, there's a chance we could do pretty good, better than we all think, the rest of the way.
So Tigo, there's a lot of people here that are coming at you right now because
Dak's bad. He's not a good quarterback. He sucks toes. I stand on business. I said what I said. Not good. Those are the words I used. Did not use them lightly. Not good quarterback.
Okay. Well, we're putting in the link, guys.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know where that's coming from, but I love it.
Am I doing that? I'm doing that.
I think I put it in, but I don't know how to pin it.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you're sure you don't know if you put it in?
Oh, I know I put it in.
All right, it's pinned. It's pinned. So all of you Xavier Gibson lovers, call in, tell us why he deserves to still be on this team. And while you're at it, why don't you tell me about Michael Clemens? Tell me why he deserves to be on this team as well. We await your answer. It'd be very nice to hear some explanations. Who are some other players on the Jets who we're questioning why they're here? Xavier Gibson, Michael Clemens. Who else? Well, Kuntz is going to be gone, right?
Nah, he makes a P squad.
You think he's going to be on the practice squad?
Yeah, I personally wouldn't give up on a kid with that much. He shouldn't see the field. But if you can keep him around, if you can keep him on, I think that there's a real world, and where you look at it and you go,
physical ability.
Yeah, just because you shouldn't be that big and run that fast and be that strong and jump that high. This doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I watched him at practice. I watched him at training camp, and he looks like a giraffe.
Yeah.
You're right. But can't giraffes run at 20 miles an hour?
Yeah, but he has the coordination of a giraffe.
Dude,
they can run at 40 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you. This is not me saying he should be on the starting roster. No way in hell should he. But I would keep him on the P squad. I think there's something there, man. Let's get him a real teacher. And I think we finally got those in the building.
like Ruckert. There's something there.
Yeah, you can see it, dude. It shines every once in a while. It's once in a blue moon, but it's there, and you see it, and you're just like, do that thing more.
I mean, I remember seeing Kuntz because I went to ODU, and I just remember seeing this cat like when they needed somebody to make a play happen, it was that dude. Like have like 4 defenders on him and just Michael Jordan and people and all that. Now it is a Sun Belt, so you know what I mean. But again, well, we have a question. All right, from Dano for all you guys right now. Can I have one of your hottest take for the season? And I'll start with Tigo.
Tyrod Taylor takes over from week 7 and never gives the job back.
Holy shit. And
that's not a hot take. That's like a melting take.
Yeah, that's like a volcano just exploded.
I said it.
Okay.
Oh, and we're better for it. Like infinitely better for it. Tyrod takes the job week 7, and we go on and we win like 6 games.
Oh, okay.
Chaos?
Post bye week, I'll change it. He takes over week 10, doesn't give the job back, and we go on a run.
Okay.
How many games do you think? Is that what my question? Just straight up, how many games I think we're gonna win?
No. What's your hottest take for the season?
Oh,
my hottest take for the season.
I mean, Tigo right here just literally said by week 6.
I changed it.
He said
Justin Fields loses his job before the bye week. Tyrod takes over, never gives it back, and I never have to see Justin Fields wear a Jets jersey ever again.
Curry has saying that's a spicy take.
Oh,
he likes
God.
it,
but he likes it.
Very negative thinking take. I guess my hottest take for the season is that Will McDonald's going to get 15 plus sacks.
Woo! Love it.
That's a hot take.
15.
Spicy.
Damn.
He's going to dominate he's going to be up there with the big names. With the big, he's going to be in the big 5. Watts, Myles Garrett, all the, like those big names that you name off, Micah Parsons. Will McDonald's going to be one of those names.
Dane with the hottest of hot takes.
Yeah, I was just about to put that up.
I love it though.
Isaiah Davis is RB1 by Thanksgiving. Shit.
So now what am I going to say?
I have zero faith in that one, but I love it.
I was just about to say that, but now what do I say?
I say Sauce Gardner with 8 interceptions and 2 tutties for the season.
Wow. 8. That's insanity.
That's nuts.
From not having
numbers.
That's
DPOY numbers.
But the Fields one is insane.
That's a nuts one.
The I have to say the McDonald one, I think it could happen. Could happen. I don't know if that's hot. Maybe that's like warm. But that I don't know. And the RB1 for Davis, that's pretty hot. It's a pretty hot take. They're all hot takes.
So this kind of goes back to this question, right? And this is what Dano was talking about. Shout out to Jack Talks Jets. So what are your guys' thoughts on Isaiah Davis? Because I believe he will be a monster next year. He has great vision, speed, versatility. You'll be competing with Braylon for RB2 in training camp. Thoughts on this?
We saw it. We saw it happening at the end of the season. He was catching balls out of the backfield. He was being effective. The trend is your friend. In my case, I believe the trend is your friend. And with a more, I don't want to say desperate quarterback, but a quarterback who will not focus on just one wide receiver, he has a possibility. So I think he has a big. I was going to say he was running back too. By the end of the season,
there's a world. I think that I agree with. I think our running back room is obviously our best asset on offense. But there is a part of me that looks at this and goes, like Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis should kind of be used sparingly because they're here next year and Brees isn't. And you should run Brees into the ground. Like he should get 40 touches a game for 17 games.
Holy shit.
Because,
another spicy take.
No, because like that's just the reality of it. You're not going to extend Brees. You don't pay running backs. You're not going to extend Brees. And a combination of Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen is an incredibly good running back room. Most teams would be very happy with just that, let alone also having Brees. And I think that Engstrand is going to be better suited to creating the space that Brees needs to operate at the NFL level with his blocking schemes and ideas and how he's going to operate. And so, like, there's a part of me that just goes, if it ain't broke, and I mean specifically Brees Hall, like his body isn't physically broken, he should get as many touches as possible.
He does look bigger.
Yeah.
Like a bigger running back now. And having the running threat of Justin Fields could open up some lanes. So you never know.
Chaos, your thoughts on Isaiah Davis?
Look, I feel like after like Brees Hall, like last year, from watching last year, the first half of the year, I was thinking Braylon Allen is the man. I love him. I loved him when we drafted him. He was a prospect that I absolutely loved. I couldn't believe it when we got him. I was shocked. I was delighted. And then I thought Isaiah Davis was good, but I was confused because I said, we just took Braylon Allen. Why did we take him? By the
Michael Carter then too.
But by the last 6 or 7 games of the year, it was all of a sudden the Isaiah Davis show. And I said, holy cow, this guy could play too. So I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Brees Hall. Is maybe this system maybe changing, maybe 2 years away from the injury? Is this going to be finally, this is his last, if it doesn't happen now as a running back, then he's just a third down receiving type back. He's he's not a full down, full milk, cow running back. So I don't know if it's Allen or Davis or a split between the two. I think they both have potential. I think that Davis, from what I've seen, my feel is he's more limited in the sense that he's a good receiving running back, but he's also the power back. Whereas Allen has power, but also I think could be a home run hitter. I think he could break. I think he has a little bit more burst. Like he could stop at the line of scrimmage, change direction, and have more burst. Whereas Davis is more run right through you. So I think it could end up being Davis if that's just the style of offense and that's what just works well in the scheme, like just a guy who's just run right over you. But if I'm drafting a team and building the team, I like Braylon Allen better. I still am a Braylon Allen guy, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Davis was the RB2 or just doing more than people think and having a much bigger role than people think somewhere around weeks 5, 6, 7 as we get into the season. And all of a sudden, Isaiah Davis is a big name on the team. Like, that wouldn't shock me.
I mean, you got AFG up here saying that, but Brees is a multi-back. He talks about how Brees was injured last year and was nowhere near 100%. Are we just completely writing?
I hope that's the case because I had Brees Hall before, and I looked right when we drafted him. I said this guy could be like an Adrian Peterson type of player in the NFL, and it looked like it until that injury in Denver. It looked like it. It looked like he was going to be a game-changing player. He was for us in those games. He was the games we won were because of him. We were winning some games because of him. So, but after the injury, I don't know. So I'm just hoping he, that's the question mark on him. Can he go back to what he was those first 8 games of his career?
I think a lot of people also tend to forget that the play calling changed. The reason Brees didn't go in the first round is because Brees doesn't create space. Right? The reason why Brees isn't in the conversation of one of the best running backs in the NFL is because when you talk about the best running backs in the NFL right now, they all have one singular thing that they do that Brees doesn't, and that's they can create their own space. Brees in space is second to none. If you can get the ball in his hands in open field,
Gone.
He's second to none. But the problem is, Brees, for whatever, doesn't have that innate ability to create his own space.
Okay.
So he relies on the offensive line and the blocking scheme and a lot of the things around him to create that space for him. And we can all agree that the play calling the last 2 years, or the last year, because the year before he was hurt, was absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, it was trash.
Just abysmal. There was no run blocking scheme. There was no identity. There was no holes being created. The play calling was not just vanilla, but really, really, really predictable. And the blocking ideas were really, really predictable. And so that's why part of me is just run Brees into the ground.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to re-sign him. And Tanner Engstrand came from a system and a scheme that their best skill set, their best attribute was creating space for the runners. That was their best attribute. They block as 9 because the only person not responsible for blocking was the quarterback and the running back who had the ball. Like, that's the system. That's what Detroit does. And so that philosophy should hopefully come over and be injected into this New York Jets team. And if we can start creating some holes, if we can start creating space for Brees Hall, run him in 2,500 all-purpose yards. Like, that's the type of year. Like, go get him paid by some other team in the offseason, because that's what you do. And yeah, that's why I have a hard time with that. Like, Isaiah Davis is going to be RB1 or Braylon Allen is going to be RB1. It's just because, like, none of those guys are as good as Brees in space. And if we can create space for Brees, holy hell, no one's going to catch him. No one's going to stop him.
And he admitted to playing injured last year.
Yeah.
Right. So if he's healthy and we implement, like you said, the Detroit philosophy, look out.
And AFG is Brees Hall's agent, guys, just to let you guys know this. All right. So my man has been 2,500 all-purpose yards. But that's if, right?
But here's the thing: that if applies to the other two guys too, and neither one of them are home run threats.
True.
That's the problem.
But Chaos was saying that he thinks that Allen can be that home run guy.
He doesn't have the breakaway speed, in my opinion.
Well, he doesn't have the breakaway for like an 80-yard touchdown run. What I mean is he has the burst to go like a good 15 yards. He's not just a 4 to 5 every time. Like, he can accelerate, burst out, and get those 8 to 12 yards and have those bigger runs. I'm not saying he's like a guy who's going to go 75 yards or like Brees is the only one on our team who does that.
Yep.
When he's healthy.
At least Allen can truck people over. Like,
again, Allen is going to get you. He's going to turn a 5-yard game into an 8-yard game. Yeah. Right. Because he's going to fall forward every time. And like Isaiah Davis is in that same boat. And I think they both have that. I think they both have the ability to, what most running backs would be a 5-yard gain, can turn that into a 15-yard gain. And like, that's that burst that Chaos is talking about. That ability to just, I see a hole, I'm going to take it and like explode out of it, where most running backs are just going to run through that hole. They both have that like explode through a gap and get there before it closes. It's just that neither one of they don't have home run power. Like, if we're going to put it into baseball terms, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's the guy who can make contact but doesn't have home run power. Like, that's what those guys are. They're single and double machines. And to be fair, if you had a team full of guys who could just hit singles and doubles, you would win. But that's not sexy. You want the home runs, and that's what Brees is. He's a home run hitter. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to happen. And obviously he's coming back from the ACL, and you're hoping that he's going to be 100% healthy. And there's a lot of positives to that. The biggest one is that like he's carrying more weight. You don't carry more weight if your knee's unstable. So that's a big deal, because if you see the videos, he's making those cuts again. He's making the moves while carrying more weight. So that means that the knee is finally stable, and the muscles are there, so he can carry the extra weight, and he can do the. I'm telling you, if he is at, let's say, 95% of what year one Brees is, run him into the ground.
Okay. Yeah, because like so my memory with Brees, and if I'm being honest with you, Tigo, is seeing him get caught from the back multiple times when he's cut through the outside and is running, and you're like, I'm like, oh shit, he's about to score. And then that does not happen, and then we end up with 3 points.
That there's a difference there, because now what you're talking about is inside the park home run speed. That's what Izzy had. Izzy had no business beating guys to the edge, but he was just faster than you. That's not what I'm talking about. Right? Because there's a difference. There's a difference in being like a home run threat. And there's a difference from like, because sometimes you can just get to base just being fast. Right? That's what Izzy was. I loved Izzy. I wanted Izzy in the worst way. And we took him. And it was because of he has game-breaking speed. Brees never had game-breaking speed. Again, another reason he didn't go in the first round. But he does still have elite speed.
And if Braxton Berrios knew how to block,
yeah, that too,
Brees would have had another touchdown. So, you know.
Well, guys, I think this is coming towards the end. And this was awesome. Tigo, you coming on, man. Bro, it was great having you back on here. The insight that you provided today, all the stuff in regards to telling us that year 2 is where it's going to really be for the Jets, right? So, and
year 1 is the Tyrod Taylor show.
Correct. And preaching patience. And so, with that being said, Tigo, where can everybody catch you, man? Like, what's going on? Like, where if I want to get some more stuff from Tigo?
I'm still recovering from my surgery, so I am not doing a lot of stuff on the Talking Jets channel.
Okay.
Just because it's really hard.
Yep.
To do things, with one arm and not having a shoulder that works, and obviously the boys and just started a new business. It's a whole bunch of things, but when training camp well and truly starts, we'll be back on the Talking Jets with Tigo channel doing a bunch of stuff, doing the, daily uploads, Talking Jets, and doing all that stuff. So if you want the hottest takes in all of the Jets content creator land, you know where to find me.
Hell yeah. Hey, we got to get you back on, man, because this was awesome, dude. Like,
yeah.
If your hot take happens, where's your crystal ball at, bro? Because
dude, I just don't have faith in the kid. Don't think he's a good quarterback. It still makes me sad to think that he's under center.
Oh, all right. Well,
wow.
I don't want to be the downer. I just don't believe. I don't see it. See it. It's like the people with the Xavier Gibson stuff. I put Justin Fields in the same boat. I just don't see it. Don't see where the upside is.
Thanks, Tigo.
We'll do another show where you guys could try to convince me, and I'll come in with an open mind, and maybe you guys could do it. Just saying, a lot of people have tried and they haven't figured it out.
I doubt that. Tigo, we appreciate you, brother. We'll talk some more, man, and get you back on the show.
All right. Thanks, Tigo. Good night.
We're going, guys.
And then the great one.
The great one.
The great one. Chaos, appreciate you, man, and all the stuff that you are doing for us over here as well. Just to let everybody know, we are actually going to have a huge party at the Chaos household. We are throwing a couple of keggers, and we are partying like it's 1999. So,
we know.
Yeah, Sacramento. Here we come.
Here we come. Sacktown, baby. We're bringing.
No!
But with that being said, Chaos, again, appreciate you, man. Where can everybody catch you? What you got going on? What you got cooking?
Right now, mostly here. But, when training camp starts, I'll be back with O'Leary. We might have a new time for a while. I got some scheduling complications due to the fact that I have a job now, finally. But I'm trying to – it's only temporary for the summer, and then I'm clearing that client out of that slot. So me and O'Leary can have our time back. It just might not be from my studio. It might be from my work office where I practice as a therapist. That's reality. But anyway, we'll be back around training camp. And then, every once in a while I'll pop in and do some stuff on the Jets Chaos channel. And as you guys know, I'm always pushing and asking people to support the Brooklyn Brothers food review channel. My brother's been doing a hot dog series. My brother Matthew has been trying hot dogs all over the country. He does one from Alaska, one from Seattle, one in North Carolina. So he's been doing a lot of hot dog reviews. So if you want to see hot dog, different styles from all over the country, Brooklyn Brothers food review.
That's very intriguing. I would love to see hot dogs around the country.
Yeah, there you go. Seattle dogs are really cool. They put cream cheese on them.
That I don't understand.
Yeah,
but
it's weird, but people swear by them. So.
But you know what? I would try it because I've always felt like try it once and then see what your thoughts on are. I mean, I love cream cheese, so fuck it. Why not?
I just think visually I couldn't do it. So whatever. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Every time you come in, you always bring the energy.
Of course.
So
pleasure.
I can't wait to see you again when you come up to New York, or if I go out to California or North Carolina or wherever you are.
Well, if I don't know if you're planning on going to the opener against Pittsburgh, but I'll be there. So
I might snag a ticket. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. And don't forget, we won't be here next week. So you don't have to come in tomorrow. You don't have to come in next week.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks.
Chaos, we appreciate you, man.
Bye-bye. All right.
And then
it's us.
Then it's us.
And here we are.
So awesome show, man.
The end of another show. Now I have on the counter an hour and 56 minutes. Is that correct?
I do too.
Okay, good. So we could play the outro, or we could just say good night now.
We should play the outro because it's the last time we're going to be on for a little bit. 4th of July is coming, guys. So I want to say a big shout out to America. We're out here supporting USA. And to the military that's out there, man. Appreciate your service and everything you guys are doing for this beautiful country itself, man. So
thank you so
much. America.
And we're going to end it there. Dude.
Hey.
We started off as Titans, and now we're the Jets. The start of every season always starts with the sweats. Vinny T, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, what's the deal? Don't even try to tell me that the curse ain't real. We're coming for you, run, nothing high. Snowballing Johnny Boy, it's Jets Worldwide. Why? Yeah, like and subscribe. But fumble, fail, Mary, choking Fitzpatrick. The end of every season is always tragic. Doug Bryan missed, everybody got pissed. Super Bowl seasons ended with just one twist. 15 years without the playoffs. Is Aaron Glenn legit? We're the friggin' New York Jets and we're built for the shit. We're coming for you, real and high.